Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. We are back once again in action, people, in a different location with a different background as we're parked up and ready once again to talk about Rangers things. And oh no, there's already two people standing but pretty much just to my left as I've parked up here. They're staring at me, they're watching me talk, they're watching me be very animated and holding my hand weirdly on the wheel. Subscribe if you're new around here, but we're not here for that in my own public embarrassment, people, or maybe you can let me know in the comment section below. We're obviously here to react to the Europa League draw. First of all, by the way, the tune, I've got to say it, people, it's significantly better than any other European Cup competition, alright? That's all. I'll leave it right there. And it does feel a bit weird now we're back in action, because it's funny, right? We've kind of went into the Europa League group stage and some of us are feeling a wee bit flat because of what happened a couple of days ago. Completely understanding. Obviously, we had different targets we wanted to make the Champions League, but now we're in the group stage. But it is funny because just a couple of years ago, we used to have to fight tooth and nail just to reach the Europa League group stage, and it was an achievement in itself, people. And now we're kind of sitting here, pot one, and some of us are upset that we're actually here. It's kind of just a wild thing, and I'm not saying you should feel this way or this way. It probably shows where our club is and where we need to be and where we need to be playing. But I just thought it was very interesting. I remember sitting making these videos over the last 5-6 years wanting to be in the group stage. Now we're sitting pot one in there, being among some of the biggest teams, and I was just like, alright, we've actually done things in European football. We've well and truly carried Scottish football on the back in that occasion. But we'll move on from there, people. We got pot one late last night after Sparta Prague won 4-1 at home. Now we were celebrating the fact that they'd done that because against the Croatian side that they were against, Dynamo, they were going to be the pot one team because of the way the coefficient works, etc, etc. But Sparta pulled their pants down 4-1 and it moved us from pot two to pot one. And I was like, well, that's us actually got a wee bit of result for Sparta. Let's hope we never see them again. And guess what happens, ladies and gentlemen? Because obviously, let's react to the draw then. I'm sure what we like 2 minutes in and I've talked utter nonsense so far. Let's talk about the draw itself. We have Real Betis, we have Sparta Prague, and we have limassol, or limassol. I don't know. John O'Shea was all over the place with the pronunciations. And when I'm sitting here questioning someone's pronunciation skills, you know you've had an absolute howler. And maybe it is the fact that I sat 12 o'clock on a Friday and had to watch a 6 minutes John O'Shea compilation, people. But I'm a little bit dizzy with all of this. And I wonder what people are going to be thinking about the group, because I think if you look at it on paper, especially the first two sides, Real Betis and Sparta Prague, is that two of the hardest teams that we could have drawn from pot two, pot three? Absolutely, people. You just have to say it is. And I guess it all just comes down to personal preference, and what you actually want to play or see from European games. Do you want the types of glamour friendlies, maybe the bigger names, the bigger away days, or do you want to play maybe the guffer squads, the duffer squads, if you get my drift, and give you a better opportunity to make the European Cup competitions the latter stages after Christmas? And for me, I'm quite happy with my group. I'm happy the fact that we're pot one, and I'm happy there's free opportunities to play European football. And I think with the circumstance we find ourselves in after what happened late last night, our entire objective has to change, because I can imagine being pot two, we could have been in a very difficult pot. We could have been in Group B. People, you've seen that group with the Ajax and the Brightons and the AFK Athens. That group is a joke, and that is by far the hardest group. But I'd argue we're probably got the second most difficult group actually in there. But with the way that it's unfolded, free opportunities to play European football, we have absolutely nothing to fear going into this game, besides obviously our wounds being hurt with what happened with PSV, what happened last year in the Champions League. We have shown we can compete and battle in European football. That's why we're sitting as a pot one team. It doesn't matter how your feelings are, or if you want to laugh that I've said that. Facts didn't care about your feelings. We're pot one for a reason. It's because we've performed in Europe. And I think the fact that there is two very tough sides there, and no disrespect to the Cyprus squad, we'll speak about them in a couple minutes, but I think the fact that there is two sides there is exactly what these players need to get back feeling themselves and start performing in European football, and what we need as well. Because if we had drawn maybe the lesser sides and we ran over them, it wouldn't tell us what we need to know about the new players, because the old guard, the likes of Morelos, the Kents, the Camaras, they've all left now, people, right? We knew what they could do. They gave us some absolutely fantastic European memories, but they're gone new people. There's new people and we want to be excited by them. We're all very excited. We felt like we needed all these guys. Well, now they've got a perfect opportunity against sides that will be a tough game to show that they can not only be Rangers players, people, but they can give us some emotional European nights like we've had previously. So I didn't hate the group. Is it hard? Yes, I'd argue it's the second hardest group. I mean, we're no Bayer Leverkusen or Liverpool, eh? The money that they must have paid for those groups, people, is sensational. But aye, at least we're no Brighton. Hashtag Matomo Shat for Tavernier. I'm so glad I get to make those jokes because I was absolutely terrified of watching that man running out of their full-backs and But let's actually go into a group then, shall we, and actually start breaking it down team by team, just giving you a wee brief insight, because believe it or not, I did actually look into every single team in every pot for this video, for this reaction, and obviously this is one cuff, this is one take. So aye, they're testing the grey noggin skills of remembering things right now. But let's start off with Real Betis. And I was looking at them, and I was looking at them quite a lot because I just felt in my stomach that we would get a really hard squad for pot 2. I just felt it in the air, you know what I mean? I thought Brighton, I was sure we were getting Brighton, but Real Betis wasn't too far away in my memory. So I did look at them a lot. Last year they obviously finished 6th in the Spanish League, just a couple points away for 5th, just a couple away for Villarreal. They had a very good squad, score a lot of goals. They played really attacking football, by the way, and the way we're defending the new. Does it make me a little bit nervous? You're damn right it does, people. But aye, it is going to be a very interesting test. They've also started the season off pretty well. They've just had a 0-0 draw with Atletico Madrid, who is again a Champions League side. People are battling 0-0, and I actually watched the highlights of that game, and Real Betis had more than enough opportunities to try and nick that, especially the later the game went on. So they are battling, they are up there fighting, they are sitting, what, 9th in the Spanish League now, but obviously it's just started, etc. Just a couple games in. They have got very talented attacking players, and they are the biggest name, if you will, in terms of who we will be facing and who could really punish and run away with this group. And I imagine if their bookies coming out here doing bets already, they'll be far and away bookies' favourites because of the way they've played this season already against the likes of Atletico Madrid, etc. And obviously the attacking talent that they've got. So Real Betis, yes, big challenge for us. But it's actually the third team in the group, the team that came from pot 3 that I want to talk about, Sparta Prague, people. And now obviously there is some bad baggage with this, and I'm not wanting to go into this. I'm not wanting to give the group of individuals and maybe the fans that they've had over the last couple of years said some stuff to our players that shouldn't be said. I'm not going to give that any attention in today's video. We're just going to ignore the dregs of society. In fact, we're just going to be moving on talking about as a football team, because as a football team, people, I'll be honest, I watched that game last night. That's the game. I'm sorry to any potential Hearts fans or anything, I didn't watch it. I watched Sparta Prague because, again, it had an impact on your game. And I was watching, I was like, my God, this team can attack, man. Oh, look at them for set pieces. There's a couple of big laddies in there, man. I'm really glad that they're going to be beating this mob so we didn't play them in the group stages. And what happens? People, we end up drawing them now. We've played them before, we've beat them before. There have been some difficult games before, but aye, they are a very good side, people. And as much as Real Betis is bookies' favourites to top the group or progress through the front 2, I really wouldn't be surprised if we manage to make the front 2 that the other team beside us is also Sparta Prague. And I genuinely mean that. Despite Betis being a phenomenal side, this squad, Sparta Prague, is scoring goals. People, they've started the league undefeated. Yes, they're just a couple games in at 5 or 6, but still 16 points from those games, all wins apart from one draw. They are a very strong side, and they showed that with a hammering 4-1 win that was 4 gone on about 6 or 7, and the Croatian side isn't exactly a pushover. So aye, they're big, they're physical, they score goals for set pieces, people. Pretty much everything we didn't want to hear right now, especially the way we're defending. But aye, that leads us to our last team versus the Cyprus champions, I should say, Lemioso. And I feel like I've said it wrong again, but John O'Shea's messed up my memory banks, people. I know how to say this team. I've played against them a lot in the Football Manager streams, people, but I don't know why it's gone now. But even they've started the season all right. 2 games, 2 wins, won this season, won the Cyprus Championship last season, or league trophy, whatever you want to call it. I think they call it a championship though. I think I might be right in that aspect. But league trophy, they are a very tidy side on the ball. I think if you look at them that way, again, they score goals. They have the boss the majority of the possession, but at the same time, without being overly disrespectful, people, that's a squad you need to look at and say, if you kind of get 6 points there, you're not going to make it very far. But I'm sure they'll be sitting looking at that third spot, watching how we're playing. Because can you imagine the Cyprus version of CJ Novo 992 is sitting in a car somewhere talking about Rangers leaking goals, being the worst team defensively and everything like that, and pretty much Europe right now. They'll be licking their lips saying third place is a real possibility, because third place gets you Europa Conference League next year, people. So I'm sure they'll be bang up for it, and they'll be right and ready to go to attack us and to take any point off us to really fight for that third spot. But again, me sitting here being a Rangers fan, I can't say anything else, but that needs to be 6 points with the other two very heavy hitters that we've got in our group. If there is going to be European football, if we want to finish in the top 2, by the way, which brings even more money that way, top 1 would avoid any Champions League side. I'd love it. Honestly, I would love it, and I think we deserve it. But aye, top 2 if you want knockouts, or third place would get Europa Conference League football. So there's real opportunities to play European football post-Christmas, and some more money into the football club. But that's all I've got to say. It's a very, very difficult group. I would love to know what your thoughts and opinions are. The second hardest, in my opinion. We need to get better very, very quickly and learn how to defend set pieces, and hope these new players gel, because it could be a very tough European challenge, but it's a challenge that I feel like these players need, and for me, I want to see us get back to winning and beating good teams, and that's what I've got in our group. What about you? Let me see some predictions right now, just off the top of your head. Feel free, if you're still upset for PSV and everything like that, to say maybe lower than you actually think, but I genuinely think we'll finish second in this group. Would love to see us finishing first, but I would need to see us defend a set piece first. If we can learn how to defend set pieces, I will predict us to finish first. But I feel like the group's going to be so tight and contested. I can see teams taking everything off each other. I see us getting a draw in against the likes of the Real Betises. Betis beating Sparta at home, and then Sparta beating Real Betis. It's going to be really, really close, and it'll be a couple points in it. Let's just hope the points fall our way and we get a wee bit of luck in terms of European football. But that's it. That's me done and dusted. Apologies, by the way, or apologies. By the way, if you didn't enjoy these styles of videos, I'm actually enjoying them. Again, it's all one cut. It's making sure that I'm actually taking this stuff in, and I feel like people are enjoying it and that as well. So let me know if you want to see these continue, or if you didn't. That's fair enough as well. Let me know and I'll stop them. But until then, I've been Sage over 92. I will see you for the next time, people. I won't see you for the rest of the transfer deadline day. Spoiler alert, by the way. There is nothing coming in, I don't think, unless something drastic happens very, very soon. I don't see a thing happening, so I wouldn't be staying up. Hopefully I see you later, but I doubt it. But the next time you will definitely see me is for the Old Firm preview. But aye, till then, thank you so much for watching. All the best, and bye-bye.